I'm Kevin Nelson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from around the country. The Catholic Mobilizing Network has organized a pledge drive called the National Catholic Pledge to End the Death Penalty. Each person taking the pledge promises to educate, advocate, and pray for an end to capital punishment. Catholic Mobilizing Network Executive Director Karen Clifton said that the idea for the pledge campaign took root in January, but she said Arkansas's bid to execute 8 death row prisoners in a 10-day span in April, 4 were ultimately put to death, exacerbated this situation. Bishop Frank Duane of Venice, Florida, chairman of the U.S. Bishops' Committee on Domestic Justice and Human Development, who was at the initial opening of the pledge drive, talked with Catholic News Service about the death penalty and how we all need to look for the image of God in all people.
These are not innocent individuals about which I'm speaking. That still doesn't give us the right to take their life. We have the means to protect society from them, and there's no need for this death penalty. I think we saw a very unfortunate situation in Arkansas recently, where they were scheduled to execute 8 individuals. In the end, it didn't end up being that, but it was simply because the expiration date of the drug was running out. The U.S. bishops for decades now have spoken out against the death penalty. By saving the life of someone, we don't say, he's forgiven. We say, let's not take this life. And we empathize with the suffering that those victims and their families have. Every human being has an innate value. If we believe in that made in the image and likeness of God, even that individual who for some reason goes off track in their life, we still have to look to that image of God, search for it within every individual.
Looking now at news from the Vatican and the Society of St. Pius X have been working for several years on bringing the society into full communion with the Church. The dialogue has been strained at times, but according to one Vatican official, the climate is still good for discussions to continue. Rome Reports has more from the Vatican.
While there is still no date for the expected reconciliation of the Lefebvrians with Rome, the climate of dialogue is very good. Guido Pozzo, secretary of the Vatican Commission responsible for dialogue with the Society of St. Pius X, says that the next step must be given by them. The ball is in their court.
The reconciliation will occur when Monsignor Fillet formally adheres to the doctrinal declaration that the Holy See presented to him. This is also the necessary condition to then proceed to the institutional regularization with the creation of a personal prelature. I have noticed that there is not a controversial spirit, but constructive. The different points of view or opinions we have on some issues do not necessarily need to lead to division, but to a mutual enrichment. I have realized that it is a priority for them to overcome this fracture with the Holy See. For them, it's a priority over other concerns.
Before establishing the new personal prelature, the Vatican will consult the Episcopal conferences in the areas in which the Society currently works. Guido Pozzo points out that the key to reconciliation lies in understanding the Second Vatican Council. The interpretations that were promoted by some theologians, intellectuals, and the media have encouraged a rupture similar to the Lefebvrians. Benedict XVI, in his Christmas message to the Curia in 2005, recalled that these erroneous interpretations fostered the misperception that the Council symbolized a break with the previous doctrine instead of a continuity.
In news now from around the world, Vatican officials are pushing to ratify a ban on testing nuclear weapons called the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, which could take a step toward the total elimination of nuclear weapons. Monsignor Janusz Urbanczyk, who is the Vatican's representative to the United Nations in Vienna, said during a meeting on the Treaty of Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons that ratifying a test ban treaty would be a key step in stopping countries from producing nuclear weapons. The U.S., China, Egypt, Israel, and Iran have signed the treaty but have yet to ratify it. India, Pakistan, and North Korea have not signed the treaty. The Vatican representative said that while nations do have a duty to protect their security, real security comes from the promotion of a collective security, the common good and peace. The Monsignor encouraged the United Nations to dig into the diplomatic toolbox to find ways to encourage individual countries to not only ensure security for their own people, but to work for the global growth of peace, which humanity very much needs today. And finally in the news, right before the Pope left for his trip to Fatima, the Vatican Cricket team was coming back from Fatima after participating in an interfaith tournament. Rome Reports has more on this unique tournament.
The Vatican Cricket team has returned from Fatima, where they participated in an interfaith tournament with teams of other religions, such as Muslims, Hindus, and Jews. They say that they want to align their mission with the interreligious mission of Pope Francis, both on and off the field.
So it's a way of building bridges and showing that authentic religious experience can unite people. It's not something that's divisive. And on the field you had Hindu, Muslim, it was Anglicans and Catholic priests and seminarians playing together. That in itself is an image that suggests something to the world, that authentic religious experience can unite people.
It's friendship through cricket. On the cricket field there are no enemies, there are no Catholics, there are no Protestants. So this cricket field gives a good base, good platform to build upon friendship, to build upon harmony, to build upon love.
The Dublin native manager says that this unity was able to be seen during their trip, both in the camaraderie that is built on the field with others and the special moments of prayer between the team. The St. Peter's players all dedicated themselves to Our Lady of Fatima, since they are seminarians and priests who happen to play cricket and not the other way around.
And that is all the information we have for you this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.